Hey, it's Todd Wolfe of Made by Wolfe, and I did a thing last night. So yeah, I did a thing last night. Patty, Martha, Phil, and I drove up to Albany to the Crossroads Mall so that I could get a new computer. The reason I'm getting the new computer was because I've got this new addiction in life called making YouTube videos, and my old computer was a great computer. It is a 2012 15-inch MacBook Pro, and it has done great for me since I've got it. However, last year, the MagSafe port stopped working. And when that stopped working, I either needed to get a new computer, pay to have it fixed, or buy the part. And so I bought the part and I put it in. The problem was, it is the last thing you pull out of the computer. I mean, the logic board was out, the fans were out, everything was out of the backside of that computer. In getting the fans hooked back up, one of the fan connectors stopped working. So I was down to only one fan. I decided to see how long I could go with it, and it's been fine this past year until I started doing videos. It's a very intensive, power intensive thing. The fans have been just going crazy on this. I'm starting to press above 70 degrees Celsius at times. Inside Final Cut Pro, which I do my editing on, it was incredibly slow. The rendering rates by no means could keep up with what I was doing. And I'm not doing really intensive stuff. I'm not working with 4K video. I do all my shooting in 1080 HD, but it just couldn't keep up. And so I would sometimes be working on a clip and all I could see was black because it couldn't render that fast enough. And sometimes I would have to shut down the computer. There were times when things just froze up because it was just pulling too much power and stuff like that. One of the things that I became aware of over this past year is that Apple has changed the game. What they've done is they have ditched the Intel chip and they've put out a few computers, the Mac Mini, the 13-inch MacBook Pro, and the MacBook Air with their new silicon chip called the M1 chip. And at this point, you can get one of their entry-level computers and it will beat by a fairly large amount the processing speed, the battery life, the graphics processing unit speed of their top-end MacBooks that are out with the Intel chip. It's crazy, the benchmarks that they're getting. This is a first-generation chip. People are expecting it to have more issues than it. It has very few issues, and it is kicking butt when you compare it to all the other computers out there. I mean, it is crazy. Not just the claims that they're making, but the actual results that they're actually getting. So you can take a $1,000 MacBook Air. It doesn't even have a fan in it to cool it down. And it will do a better job at producing videos using Final Cut Pro, and it will beat power and time performances. One of the things with the chip, it has both high efficiency and high performance cores. And depending on what you're doing, it'll use those cores or not. So if you're just doing light duty stuff, like if you're just surfing the web or writing a document, they are claiming, get this, battery life of 20 hours. Because what it does when you're using light duty programs, it just uses the high efficiency cores. I'm on Mac Rumors right now. I got a web page open and they did a battery performance test on this for the M1 chip and for the Intel chips. And for the M1 chip, it used 9% of its battery life. For the 16-inch MacBook Pro with the Intel chip, it used
39%
of its battery life. For the 13-inch MacBook Pro with the Intel chip, it used
76%
of its battery life, as opposed to 9%. So you can see that is a huge difference in terms of how long you can actually work on your computer without having to plug in. If you really want to use it like you're supposed to use it as a laptop, you can move it around. It doesn't have to be plugged in. That's one of the great things. Speed times. Right now, my estimate is that I'm going to save myself for one of the 10 to 20 minute videos that I'm making right now, I'm going to save myself 2 to 3 hours of work time. 2 to 3 hours. Currently, when I'm all done with the video, and I'm ready to export it and then upload it, I'm all done. I think I'm all done. It takes an hour to 2 hours to have that happen, to share it or export it so that it's just on my computer at that point, and then to upload it. Both of those things are very graphics processor heavy things, and it's going to cut that down incredibly. I was talking about the rendering issues that I was having. The rendering, it's going to be something where I can actually, throughout the entire video, at no point am I not going to be able to see in real time the rendering that's happening. And this is currently a huge issue. Like I have to wait a lot in the middle of rendering, or in the middle of working on a video. I have to wait a lot just to see what it is and have all that stuff catch up, have all of the rendering files catch up so that I can see what it is that I'm working on. And it's not that I've been disappointed. I've been great. I mean, the fact that I have this computer, the 15-inch that I have from 2012, and it's been able to do what I've been able to do, I've been okay with that. But I'm worried about it. We've had a couple shutdowns lately when the processing has just gotten overwhelming on it, and sometimes it kind of freezes, and I have to shut things down for that reason. So I'm looking forward to exactly what this is going to give me. One of the interesting things, when I opened this up for the first time last night, it turns on automatically. This is great. It has a touch bar. I've never worked with a touch bar before here. One of the nice things about it is I'm typing in my passcode a lot less, because I can log in with just placing my finger on there. So it does have a Touch ID on the computer. That is a really nice thing. I have not had that before. It is a 13-inch. It's one of my concerns with the 13-inch because the screen is smaller. So I'm going to have to make sure I get my external screen hooked up. One of the things that I don't necessarily like about where Apple has gone with their computer is the only ports they have are 2 USB-C ports. And then on the other side, a RCA adapter for your sound. That's all there are. So I've had to purchase already, when we was at the Apple store, I purchased a adapter that allows me to get my SD cards hooked up when I'm doing that, and allows me to just put a regular USB dongle in there, allows me to run the HDMI cord over to the current screen that I have, which that is how that is hooked up. Yeah, so I did a thing last night. I'm kind of excited. Hopefully it's going to make YouTubing a little easier, and hopefully it's going to allow me to go out there and make things like videos. Todd Wolfe of Made by Wolfe, encouraging you also to go out there and to make something today. Go out there and do a thing.